Thursday Tech Tip with me, Kelly George, where each week we will deliver proven tips on how to take care of your lawn. Let's get growing.
So what's so dandy about these lions anyway? Stop the madness!
Come back with that dandelion!
So have you ever used one of these to dig out your dandelions? This is probably one of the biggest mistakes you can do when you're trying to get rid of your dandelions. Dandelions have roots that reach anywhere from 6 inches to 18 inches. And with this little tool, you're not going to get the whole root. And although that dandelion may not come back this year, but the following year, that dandelion will come back with a vengeance and probably sprout 2 or 3 more dandelions, therefore complicating your dandelion situation. So I'm going to show you a better way to control your dandelions. So choosing the right herbicide is one of the things that's pretty critical when you're going after dandelions. There's a couple of different herbicides that you're going to see in the store. One of them is going to kill every weed and also your grass. Those are herbicides that contain products like glyphosate or Roundup. But if we want to kill just the broadleaf weeds, we want to be looking for herbicides that have the names of 2,4-D or dicamba or mecoprop. Those herbicides are going to be the ones that will just kill the broadleaf weeds and not the grassy weeds. So you won't wind up like your neighbor who accidentally sprayed Roundup and had a whole bunch of polka dots all over his lawn. So I mix a lot of chemicals, but on a large basis. So I have a nurse tank right here that holds 500 gallons, and I have a mixing bicon that I put all of my herbicides in. And then as I'm ready to fill my tank, I'll take this yellow hose and put it in my tank. I'll turn on the water, I'll start my engine, and it'll start mixing my chemicals for me and putting it into my tank. Many of you have probably seen my skid sprayer and the guy running it with a hose. This is how we mix it, and we want to make sure that our herbicides are always well suspended in the solution. So I go through a lot of herbicide, and I buy my herbicide in 30-gallon drums. And I don't think any of you want to buy a 30-gallon drum just to take care of your own lawn. So it's really hard for me to show you an example. But if you go to your favorite garden center or even go to Amazon, it's easier for you to find smaller containers of herbicide. I've seen the same products that I use on Amazon. Sorry about that. So right now I have my broadleaf herbicide in my, what I call a tip and pour. And so I have already read the label. I know that I'm supposed to put 1 ounce per gallon into my spray tank for me to have the effective amount of solution to spray on the weed. I have a 2-gallon hand sprayer, so this is really easy to use. I'm sure all of you have seen one of these. I say it's easy to use and I can't get the thing to work, right? So anyway, you just pump it up, it builds air, and then you can squeeze the handle, and then out comes the nozzle. And I like to use a nozzle that's adjustable so I can adjust the pattern. If it's really windy, maybe I don't want a mist coming out of my nozzle, but more of a bigger droplet. So just another thing that I want to talk to you about here. This here is called a surfactant. This particular one is called a penetrant. So what this product does is it helps spread the herbicide over the plant, so more herbicide can get into the leaf tissue. So every living plant has what they call a waxy cuticle. And if you've ever washed your car after you've waxed it, you notice that all of these water beads are all over the place. And that's the same thing when we're spraying herbicides. We're going to spray it on wax because each one of these leaves have wax on it, and it's going to make little water beads. So not very much herbicide is going to get into the plant. But if you use a surfactant or a penetrant like this, then that will break the water tension and the liquid will smooth out over the leaf. More herbicide will penetrate the leaf and you'll have better success in killing your weeds. So when you do select your herbicide, make sure that you read the label and how many ounces go per gallon or maybe per 1,000 square feet. It's really important that you don't put too much down, or you may damage your grass a little bit, give it a little tip burn. And also you're wasting your product. You also don't want to put down too little, because then the plant's just not going to die. It might get sick for a little bit, but then it'll grow back. So because I know what I'm using, I know that I'm putting in 1 ounce per gallon. And here I have a 2-ounce container. And so I'm going to take this little tip and pour. I love this little guy. And I'm going to go to 2 ounces. Right there's 2 ounces. I'm going to open my little cap after I open my sprayer. And normally what we like to do is we like to fill the sprayer halfway before we put any products inside. Now you'll notice that on my garden hose here, I don't have a sprayer or anything like that, because if I use a sprayer and I put it in this sprayer container here, this pump up sprayer, it's going to splash all over the place. So I want to use a nice gentle stream, and I also want to make sure that I have an air gap, meaning that the hose is out of the mouth of the sprayer so that you don't get into the hose all dirty, because then you won't be able to drink out of the hose. So now that we have our sprayer full of our solution, we're going to take our lid and we're going to make it fairly snug. There should be a rubber seal that'll keep it from leaking. But what I do is I also take it now and I shake it, because I want that herbicide to be suspended in all of that liquid solution. So when I spray, every dandelion gets the same amount of herbicide. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pump it up. We're going to start to feel a little bit of resistance, and when we do, we know we've got enough pressure that we can spray some weeds. So you think you're ready to go spray now, but you're not quite ready to go spray. You need to see the spray pattern that's going to come out of your wand. So choose a hard surface like your driveway or sidewalk to spray, to see what kind of pattern you have. If you've seen that, that was not a very wide pattern. So I'm going to screw this nozzle in tighter to see if I can make the pattern more wide. That's perfect. No gaps. So the thing to remember is that you don't need to douse a plant. All you need to do is spray it quickly to get enough herbicide on it to kill it. For more tips like these, click on the subscribe button below.